BC, welcome back. This is Hub Tunes. I'm Mike. We're gonna do a little response to Mazzys. Not really a response, a companion piece to Mazzys Bowie ranking video that he did a few weeks ago. Bowie is probably one of my favorite artists. He's probably, if I am a completist in any of catalog of any artist, it's probably Bowie. I probably have like 75, 80 different Bowie. Sorry, I'm being distracted by a cat just doing acrobatics on the floor right in front of me right now. So hopefully he'll move away and stop distracting me. If I'm a completist, it would definitely be David Bowie. I absolutely adore David Bowie and just pretty much everything he did. So this was a very difficult, really difficult video to make. I narrowed it down to 15 albums, only studio. As I was doing this, I was kind of thinking, I think one day I'm gonna do a Bowie live, just showcase all my Bowie live stuff, because I got some tremendous things that continue to still come in, because his estate is doing really, really nice stuff. We'll just 15 David Bowie albums, probably actually pretty similar to Mazzys list. This was not easy to do. They could probably all be rearranged on any given day. So let's do it. First up, I'm not going to count down, but this is number 15. And I'm sure everyone is like, why is that so low? It's his biggest selling album and blah, blah, blah. What do you say about it? It's great. It's got some of his most popular music. Let's Dance, Modern Love, China Girl. Huge, huge hits in the 80s when I was pretty much at my, formidable years as a teenager. This song, Let's Dance and Modern Love, and were everywhere. You could not turn on the radio or MTV, or they were everywhere, and Bowie was huge. It does have, probably the reason it makes my list is the terrific guitar work from Stevie Ray Vaughan, and the song Cat People, which is probably it's in my top 10 David Bowie songs. I absolutely love the song Cat People. So, Let's Dance starts the list off. Next up, a really underrated album, I think. And that's Reality. This is a really good album. First of all, the artwork on the cover is terrific. Just really good artwork. This is the reissue from a few years ago. It's been more than a few years ago now. It's probably... I can't get it. It's probably been 8 or 9 years now since this came out. They reissued it. I don't want to get into the bitching of reissues, but I don't know if you guys can see that. The spines on these, they reissued Reality, Outside, Heathen, and Hours, and one other one. What am I forgetting? No, it doesn't really matter. But that whole era of Bowie, they reissued about 8 years ago, and they sound wonderful. And I guess that's all that really matters. But the packaging, I think the packaging is just horrendous. I know you can might be able to see that. The spines are just terrible, and they're just falling apart. Had they put a little more money, I would have paid more. And they came out in blue. This one's on blue, translucent, with really cool labels. Like I said, they did all those albums. You won't see, I'm not putting Earthling in this because I really don't like that album. It's got its moments. I listened to it again a couple of days ago, getting ready for this, and it's got some good stuff on it, but I didn't put Earthling on here. I didn't put The Hours. I didn't put any of those. you will see a couple more of these reissues from this era of reissues. But yeah, let's talk about the album. New Star Killer, Pablo Picasso, The Big Car, Try Some Buy Some, the cover of the George Harrison. This was a pretty decent selling album for him. Not real big. It probably made the top 25. But the tour was fantastic. This tour was unreal, and they've recently released a show from this tour. It's a really nice not box set, but I think it's four discs, so it's really, really nice. But yeah, this is Reality. Very underrated Bowie. Next up, the album that kind of caught us all by surprise, I think, was The Next Day. When this came out, first of all, we didn't really know that he was releasing an album. And then when he released it, it's really good. You know, it's a little jazzy. It's got some great stuff on it. This is, and it's got some terrific, came with a CD. This is the inner sleeve. Just lyrics and stuff, and then it had another inner sleeve. I love the artwork for this. I know Mazzy raved about it too. I love the cover of this. I think it was perfect actually. When I first saw it, I was like, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I love it. I don't know why people do complain that it was lazy or whatever. I don't care. I think it's really well done. And this had The Next Day. It had that song Dirty Boys, that jazzy, that sax. Great. Lost Love, Where Are We Now? Terrific stuff. They put this on a 2-disc set, so it sounds really good. But yeah, next up, I don't know, I'm not going to name off numbers where we are, but my next up is The Next Day, David Bowie. The next one is another really underrated record in his discography. This is Heathen. Fantastic guitar work on this. Just a really, really solid album, and it does not get enough pub or talked about. Some really cool. I love that. Yeah, this is great. Slow Burn is on here. Cactus, Sunday, Slip Away. Yeah, it's a really good album, and people just don't talk about it as much. I think it just gets lost in that era. And this again was on it's on Translucent Blue. Just different label on the other side. And again, this was part of that reissue campaign that I was just talking about with Reality. And yeah, I mean, it's, again, the spines are just not holding up, and it was like that right away. Like, as soon as I brought this home, these spines all just started to flatten out. It was really kind of sad, because David Bowie's known, especially his estate too, he's really known for putting out some high quality stuff. As far as sound and packaging go. I mean, everything that the estate has done since his death is phenomenal, really good. So it was a little disappointing. Hopefully we'll get a reissue, because I'll be the first one in line to get all of these reissues if they do that. Next up, I'm going with Low. I like this album a lot. I probably should have had this a little higher. I don't know. I mean, we're in the top 10. So, I mean, we're almost in the top 10. But, yeah, I mean, everyone knows this album. What a terrific album. Gorgeous. Classic. Just classic Bowie. So, yeah, this is Low. I'm going to speed this up. Hope you guys don't mind. Next up, one of the greats, Diamond Dogs. This is the recent reissue. Not recent. Last couple of years. Really well done. It's just on RCA. Everyone knows this album. you know, Diamond Dogs, Future Legend, Sweet Thing and Candidate, Rebel Rebel. Great rock and roll on this, especially on the first side. Terrific album. Get the genitalia blocked out. Next up, Heroes. People are probably wondering why this isn't higher. It's great. I mean, it's great. You know what? What do you want me to tell you? It's great. It could be higher. This isn't really his. I'm not ranking his best albums. I'm ranking my favorite albums. Is what I'm doing. So yeah, this is one of my favorite Bowie albums. It's, you know, and everyone knows. I don't need to tell you what's on this album. This great album. Next up, a lot of people will be surprised this is further up the list than Heroes, but this is Lodger, the final of the Berlin series. I love this album. I think this might be my favorite of the Berlin albums. Yeah, I think this might be actually my favorite. I maybe because it's a little underrated. I'm always rooting for the underdog. So yeah, maybe it's probably me. I just have a soft spot for this. This is Fantastic Voyage, which is, I love that song. This Boys Keep Swinging. It's a great album. So yeah, Lodger. Up next, this is also a reissue from a few years ago. Sounds great. I do have originals of all of these too, but that's just because I'm weird. Probably one of the first Bowie albums I ever listened to is Scary Monsters and Super Creeps with the fantastic cover art. See that without a glare. Probably, I don't know, I've said that this might be his last great album. It's the last album of his golden years. Absolutely terrific. It's No Game, Scary Monsters, Ashes to Ashes, Fashion. Yeah. What a terrific artwork too. Just a great album. This is how he kicked off the 80s, and man, it's a solid album. Next up, the classic Aladdin Insane. What can you say about this? I mean, this is a rock and roll album. This is probably one of his hardest rockin'. This is also one of the reissues from a few years ago, but this is this is not part of that reissue campaign that I was just talking about. This was actually done later, and it's done much better. I think this might be actually the anniversary release. The inner sleeve, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, this is probably one of his hardest rocking albums. Watch the Man, Aladdin Insane, Drive-In Saturday, Panic at the Disco, Cracked Actor, which is one of my favorite Bowie songs. It's got Time, which is probably in my top 5 Bowie songs. I love that song. He does a cover of Let's Spend the Night Together. Genie's on here. Yeah, it's a classic, absolute Bowie classic. I guess all of these are, aren't they? Next up, some people will laugh that this is this high, but yeah, because we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this is number 5 on my list of Bowie albums. This is Outside. I can't get enough of this album. I know when it came out, people didn't like it, but man, this thing holds up, and it is absolutely great. This is Brian Eno and him collaborated. Members of Nine Inch Nails are on here. You got members of Pet Shop Boys, and yeah, this is great artwork too. I don't know if you guys can see all that. This is part of the same same reissue campaign that the other ones were that I was complaining about. This one actually holds up a little bit better. I think because this one's divided. Is this? No, this is still only 2 discs. But yeah, this is great, and I love the. I don't know if you guys can see this. There we go. I love the inner labels. Are really nice. I like white vinyl too. I'm not a big color vinyl person, but I like white. I don't know. I know they're hard to see, but I never. When I play an album, I usually play it all the way through, so I don't have to worry about lining up the songs. So, yeah, white vinyl doesn't bother me all that much. Yeah, so this was fantastic. This had some really good stuff. This was Hello Spaceman with, I think that was with the Pet Shop Boys, and Outside. Yeah, this is great. Really good stuff. So. Bowie. Do you want me to list them? I could. Oh, Heart's Filthy Lessons, yeah. Hello Space Boy, The Motel. It's really good. I'm not gonna name off all the freaking songs. There had been rumors that that him and Eno were gonna do a follow-up to this, but obviously that never happened towards the end there. But man, I would have loved to have seen them do a follow-up to this. Next up, stone cold masterpiece, if you ask me. This is Black Star, final album. We all went crazy when it came out. Came out on a Friday. I had it in my mailbox on Wednesday before it came out, and I was blown away. Absolutely blown away. Everyone I knew absolutely fell in love with it. We played this album all weekend long, and then Monday morning we woke to the news that he had passed away. And it was, I don't think I've ever really enjoyed this album since. I enjoy it for what it is, but man, it's heartbreaking. It's absolutely heartbreaking. But I love the jazziness of it. The title track is one of my favorite Bowie songs. I just adore it. It's so cool, the jazz feel to it. Very similar to like Dirty Boys from The Next Day. This is just the regular release that came out. Came with a gorgeous book. This is really nice. You can't read it because it's all in like glossy, but there's some beautiful photos. Beautiful photos of David. There's a lot of glossy things that won't show up on the camera. Sorry, I mean, there's no way you can read any of this. But yeah, some really, really nicely done, and yeah, I honestly don't listen to it all that much anymore. I think I wore it out that weekend, and we don't listen to it. It's hard, it's really hard. So it's Black Star, and next up, what? You have Ziggy Stardust as his 3rd album on your list? It's my 3rd favorite. Is it his best album? Absolutely. Ziggy Stardust, Spider from Mars, his best album. It's number 3 on my list. This is a reissue from a few years ago also. It's kind of like a yellowish marble. You can't really see the marbling all that well. It's pretty good. Again, do you want me to name the songs? I'm sure everyone knows them. Yeah, this kind of, when this album came out, it kind of changed music a little bit, and the glam came in and just took over for a few years, and it's one of the great albums of all time, right? Ziggy Stardust and the Spider from Mars. This sometimes is number 1 on my list. This is Hunky Dory. Changes, Queen Bitch, and again, you guys, I don't have to name off all the songs. This also has Andy Warhol was on here. Kooks, Quicksand, one of my favorite David Bowie songs. Just amazing, and the precursor to what would come with Ziggy. You could see it; it was there. Mark Ronson, just everything was coming into place after a few years of struggling. So yeah, great album. This is also part of, I think this is an anniversary release, like the Aladdin Insane was. They did those all on silver. And then this and Hunky Dory go back and forth of what's my favorite David Bowie album. Station to Station, I rave about this album. I can't get enough of it still to this day. It's such a great album. It's only got what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 songs. Station to Station, Golden Years, Wild as the Wind, just great. And then the epic Stay. If you're a Bowie fan, you know, from years past, I mean, if you ever saw Stay live, you were in for a treat. That was a great song. He also did that on, I want to say, I remember him doing it on like the Dinah Shore show or something. Yeah, one of his best songs, and live it was absolutely phenomenal. So number 1 on my list today is Station to Station. This is also, does this say no, this is just on black. I think they just reissued this again. There's been so many Bowie reissues on some of these, I lose track. But Station to Station, number 1 on my list. We do the list next week, it'll probably be number 2 or 3, but it usually falls at the top. So that's it. I know that was kind of a quick one. I rambled through that, but that's Bowie. What more to say? You guys know these albums, so I don't think I need to go into real depth of how genius he was and how genius each album was. You'll notice Young Americans did not show up. I can't find my copy of Young Americans. I don't know where it is. It's out of place or something. It's back there somewhere. So I dug for it for like 10 minutes and I couldn't find it. So I was like, oh well, Young American. I like Young Americans. It would have been on the list. It probably would have, I don't know what it would have knocked off because it's in my top 15. Maybe I just would have added 16. That's probably what I would have done. But yeah, that's it. You guys, thanks again for all the subscriptions. If you guys like this, please like, subscribe, dislike, leave comments. You know the routine. Have a great night. I will taking a few days off next week. I'm going camping down in Kentucky, so on the Kentucky-Indiana border. So just be gone for like a long weekend, but I'm not going to post any videos. I'm just going to take a little break. So you guys stay safe and be well. Questions, comments, snide remarks? In the comments.